morning, traders. I'm Dennis Dick.
And I'm Joel Elcon, and welcome to Premarket Info.
Apple holds the 500 level yesterday, bottoms at 501, and rallies 20 points. It is up another 8 points here this morning, so Apple bulls are partying in the streets. Meredith Whitney upgrades Bank America, Citigroup, and Discover Financial after the bell. All those stocks are trading higher. Goldman Sachs was also upgraded by Susquehanna today. All your financials, after building on a big day yesterday, are higher again this morning. We have stock buybacks at Eli Lilly and Allstate. And we've also got a Senate hearing today on computerized trading. That's going to be at 9:30. Joel, let's start with Apple here. It held 500 and now is trading 527.
Well, I know you were doing your part there at 405 and a half.
505 and a half.
505
Yep.
and a half, 506 in
Yep.
the morning. You were catching you were catching a couple bounces.
I played it
off
3 times, yeah. Like I had that I've said 2 numbers on the show yesterday morning. I was saying the 505.50 area and the 500. I said those 2 numbers. We both said those 2 numbers. We knew the 500 was a real big one, but there was some support at 505.50, which was at old lower. I think it was 505.55. So I had said to myself, well, I'm going to buy this 506 when it gets down there off the hop. And it did, and if it was going to go down and make a new low, cut through the 505.50, so I was basically going to risk 50 cents, and I was going to get out. Bought the 506, sold 508. Then it came back down, bought the 506 again, sold 507. Bought it one more time, 506, and I think I got the 507 again. Then it came down again. I was too nervous, and it actually bounced again. I was like, oh, I could have played it the 4th time. But then on the 5th time, it did cut through. You can see it right there on the chart. Got down to the 500 and 501.23. I did not buy it that time, and the stock took off.
Yeah, I was I was thinking about it. We did, obviously the 505.75 level was, the low that we had back in November, and we came down there again. And I don't know if this makes any sense or not, but boy, there are probably a lot of people covering shorts down there.
Oh,
If you had a big short position in this thing, it's come off 200 points. Everyone's thinking about the $500 level. If you really needed to buy, let's say you needed to buy 5 million shares of that stock. I mean, you just can't stick out, large bids without getting peppered by the high-frequency traders. So they just do it in pieces, and they pick their levels and didn't let it get to the $500 level. Looking on the upside, in the pre-market, we've hit 527.85. Probably that 530 give you a little psychological resistance, though. But the big number I'm looking at here, and it's not that big, it's 537.64. That was the high on Thursday.
And then I like the 550 area, obviously, too. We're 24 points away from there. You can say, oh, we'll never get there, but don't never say never. We're up 26 points here in one trading session from where we were yesterday. This thing is going to be volatile here again today. I do think the bulls are kind of in charge here. Like, we were somewhat wishy-washy. We weren't sure whether we wanted to be bullish or bearish. Me and you both thought the stock might actually be at 510 at the end of the week, which I still wouldn't be surprised if it is. But that 500 level is key, so don't discount that. If that 500 does not get taken out here, these bulls are still in charge. So I'm not a big fan of shorting this issue here. I know it's bounced 25 points, and some of you shorts are licking your chops here, thinking, oh, I got another 25 points, it's going to come right back down. I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure that this thing's going to come right back down. Anyways, let's move on here. We got Google also had a heck of a day, Joel. It ran up to now trading 723, so it's trying to hold that 200-point spread between Apple. But Google had a monster run yesterday as well.
Yeah, that stock hung out at the 705 level. Had talked to one of the traders at our office here about that being the 50% retracement. I thought if it could hold that level, you get into this whole vacuum area. So if you look at it, October 18th never happened, basically. That was a day they came out with the earnings. Yeah. We had settled at 755.49. The little mishap with the earnings being announced during the day. Had the crazy day. Yeah, had the crazy day, and the streets really shrugged this off. It's come back, and it's basically taken all that back. Let's keep an eye on 738.28. That's yesterday's high. And then also you get a nice round number like 750. You might get some sellers
And
there as well.
actually, the 738.28 was just a straight tick. That happened
Okay.
right at 359.59. So I don't know if I'd put much weight in that number itself. It does show up because it was two prints up there, two straight ticks right 1 second before the bell. Actually, Nanix was talking about that. Did a little blog. What happens is you get these trade throughs happen, and
Yeah.
somebody's trying to cover at the close, and all of a sudden they route out wrong, and it ticks on Edge X, I think it was, and I don't remember what the other exchange was, but a couple straight ticks went by up at 738. So actually, the high is right around. It closed very near the high of the day. It says
Okay.
721.92, so only about a buck off the real high. So it's actually trading off there right now. But those straight ticks screw up our charts too, because my chart shows the same thing. Joel shows a high of 738.28, but really, it really wasn't up there. It was just a straight
Market
tick.
fragmentation.
It's annoying, man, and that's what we were going to talk about too. Obviously, there's this. Just might as well mention it right now. There's a Senate hearing today on computerized trading venues and what the rules of the road should be. That's going to be at 9:30. If you're following me on Twitter, I will tweet out the link there. I'll tweet it out about 20 minutes before it so you can listen to it. It's going to be good though. They're going to talk a lot about high frequency trading, internalization, a lot of stuff that we've talked about on the show in the past. We got Joe.
Why are you there? Why are you there?
Well, they got the big guns there. They got Joe McCain from the NYSE. They've got Eric Null from NASDAQ, and they've also got Gasser from ITG and Dan Matheson from Credit Suisse. So you basically got two guys on the broker-dealer side
Yes.
and two guys on the exchange side. So it's kind of going to be broker-dealers versus exchanges. So it should be a pretty good pissing match there, Joel. So pretty excited to watch those guys battle it out. Joe McCain, I tend to agree with a lot of stuff he said. They had the written testimonies. I read them last night. The Joe McCain one I actually side with more than any of them. And Dan Matheson, obviously Credit Suisse wants to internalize everything over there, so they're saying, oh, everything looks good. Keep the stuff going off exchange transactions aren't hurting. So that's what you're going to be talking a lot about internalization off exchange trading. But let's not get all into market structure here. Let's move on to what is really moving here this morning.
Work you up on the lather there.
Yeah, you really get me worked up when you talk market structure. So let's move on to what's really moving here this morning, and that is the banks. They were all upgraded, or three of them were upgraded by Meredith Whitney last night. Bank America upgraded just after the bell. Citigroup and Discover Financial. Look at this Bank America chart, though. This thing is absolutely flying here again. I don't know why my data is showing not the close from yesterday. Closed at 11 bucks, trading up 11.28. So Bank America is up another 28 cents here this morning.
Okay, I hit 11:32 in the pre-market, but I don't know. Can we bag on Meredith Whitney a little bit? Wasn't she like all the municipals and banks were going out of business a year and a half ago?
She's a little late to this party. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
She's a little late here.
Okay.
And I agree. Dick Beauvais actually was on CNBC yesterday. I think he said the same thing, that she was a little bit late to the party, because Dick Beauvais has been bullish these banks for a while. So give him some props.
Great minds think alike, you know. We had talked about that $10 handle, and it just kind of being littered, very few resistance points. I didn't think it would go through 10 to 11 within a day. Looking back on the monthlies in July of 2011, you hit a high of 11.14, and then you had a gap up in the prior month to 11.74. That was part of the crash on the way to under $5. I don't know. I would just use this pre-market high 11.32. I mean, there is some decent volume associated with this, 4 million, but this thing trades, huge size. So it's really not that much. If you're patient, I think on the a long-term investor and you feel like you missed the boat, I think this thing will come back down to the $11 area. I just don't know when.
Man, when you look at that monthly chart, though, and you put this all in perspective, whoop-de-doo-dah day when you see this thing at 11.28 and it was at $55 back in 2007. So obviously there's still a lot of people underwater in Bank America.
55 calls.
55 calls. It's going to be a while before those 55 calls get in the money. So Citigroup here. This was interesting. Obviously they were upgraded to, I'll get you out to a daily because the monthly looks ridiculous. 39.15 is where it closed. trading 39.45. This one was interesting after the bell. If you look at after-hours trading, I always watch after-hours trading very closely. Upgraded by Meredith Whitney just a couple minutes after the close, around 4:02, 4:03. Somebody's offering a boatload of stock at 39.10 with an iceberg order. If you don't know what an iceberg order is, it's an order that just shows the very top. So it was showing 500 shares, but he really had like thousands and hundreds of thousands of shares to sell. So basically what was happening, he's selling 39.10 and everybody's coming in and picking them off because it just got upgraded, so it's like almost seems like free money. But then he comes down to 39.09 and 39.08 and 39.07 and 39.05 and he's sitting there and they're picking him off for thousands and thousands and thousands of shares. I mean, this guy was selling hundreds of thousands of shares. He comes all the way down, starts offering it under 39 at 38.98. This thing just got upgraded by Meredith Whitney and he's offering it down. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Am I reading the news wrong? Like, why Bank of America's moving up, Discover's moving up, but Citigroup's moving down. I was like, did the CNBC have it backward, or what's going on? Anyways, eventually he does get filled on all the shares he wanted to sell, and then the thing starts to rally, and obviously now it's up at 39.45. So if you were trading after hours, I don't know who was selling that stock, but that guy lost a lot of money by offering all that stock into that Meredith Whitney upgrade.
Well, you also can you didn't necessarily lose money, Dennis.
Well, he's giving up money.
Let's say the guy. I mean, first of all, this thing's gone from 34.04 back on November 28th.
He wanted out.
39.
Yeah.
So if your target's 39, no matter what the news are, if you're a technical trader or algo trader and you want to sell 1 million shares at 39, I mean, you don't care whether it's in the in the pre-market, post-market, or whatever. You have your target, and he was using it. So we'll see what happens over the next few days. Like you said, the dailies are kind of messed up on this thing. I just want to alert our traders to a level that we are trading at near right now. 39.38 was the high back in August of 2011. We have exceeded that in the pre-market, getting up to 39.57 before just tailing off a dime. But there's probably some stock kicking around at 39.50 as well.
Yeah, $40 looks enormous here to me, so I think that's going to be your next stopping point. And you could say it might be some at 39.50, but $40 is the big number. I don't know. I wouldn't say not today. It's only 50 cents away from here, so you can chew through some stock. I think you could see a reversal here eventually. Nothing goes straight up, obviously, but I think $40 pretty key level up there. So if it was to get up there, we always try to set up you with scenario analysis, and if it was to get up into that 39.90s, I think you'll find some high frequency guys probably leaning on that 40 level. So let's look at Discover Financial too. That's the other one that she did upgrade here. It's up $1, Joel, 41.05. No volume this morning, but it was trading up last night after closing 40.18.
Okay, you're gonna have to give me this.
DFS, not one you trade every day. Oh my!
You finally got me on one. Okay, TFS. Trading up in the pre-market as well. The stock has had a nice rally. It's hit 41.10 in the pre-market. A bunch of highs hanging out here, 41 even, 41.22, and then as high as 41.31 back on the 7th. So, boy, just looking at the chart, that looks like a resistance area. If, in fact, it can clear that, you have 42.08 as the high back on December 3rd.
Goldman Sachs got upgraded by Susquehanna here today. Chart is looking good on this one too. 124.40. Obviously had a hell of a run yesterday, going up over $3. Continuing here this morning. We're going to make a run. Is that the 52-week high, the 126.73? Is that it, Joel?
I am now. No, you had a high of 128.72. Back in March, so that would be the 52-week high. Looking at the daily on Goldman here, that 115 level obviously held very well as we sold off. Really not much going back up to that 126.73 level. That's only a couple bucks away. So it'll be interesting to see if it can bust through that, head for that 128 level, or we're still going to maintain this trading range, between 125, 126, and 115.
Moving on here to a different sector, General Electric actually trading down here a bit in the pre-market. It's down 10 cents. Jeffrey ML came out, says he does see a slowdown in the fourth quarter. Also, rumors that they're going to buy an Italian aerospace supplier, Avio. So that might have the stock under a bit of pressure here. I'm telling you, man, this stock has resistance in the 21.95 area. It topped out there again again yesterday. It topped out there twice last week. We know 22 is loaded with a boatload of sellers there, so those high freaks are stepping in front of that area, and they continue to sell that area.
Yep, 3 out of the last 4 highs between 21.92 and 21.95. That ahead of the $22 level. I mean, it's down. He said the news. I mean, you have to respect that. 21.69 was yesterday's low. I wouldn't believe this thing's breaking down for sure until we cut through the triple bottom from 21.55 2 days in a row. That was a low in 21.57. So that's your major support area. As long as it holds that, I still think we're going to go up and test 22 again.
Yeah, we could come up there again, but obviously that 21.95 number is the one I'm using for my reference point as well. A couple buybacks announced. Allstate, they're going to buy back some stock here, $1.5 billion worth. Stock was trading up there a bit last night. Hasn't had any trades here this morning, but is bid up. It's bid up at $41. It was ticking up 41.13. But here's the interesting thing: they're doing the buyback, but they're financing it with some going to sell some subordinate debt. So how do you like that? I'm not a big fan when they're going to actually get debt to sell debt to buy back their stock. You got cash, it's one thing, but when you got to finance your buyback, I don't know about that.
Yeah, major resistance here, the 41.56 to 41.65 level. Yeah, you had several tops up there. Someone got a little excited in the pre-market, and they got a very few shares printed up above the $42 level. 42, yeah, an odd lot, Hanover. So keep an eye on that 41.56 to 65 level. Had a couple highs back there in December 10th through the 12th.
Actually, it was $1 billion buyback on Allstate. It's Eli Lilly with the $1.5 billion. I just read my paper wrong. So LLY is doing a buyback too. $1.5 billion stock. Actually, it shows that it traded down to 47.79. It didn't last night, though. It was trading up about 20-30 cents on this last night. Again, no shares traded here this morning, but it is bid up. 48.40 is the best bid. Closed 48.34. So Lilly with a little buyback, too.
Yeah, just keep an eye on yesterday's range, 47.78 with the low, with the 47.61 low being the low on Friday, so that should be a major support area. Looking at resistance, 48.55 was yesterday's high. That's minor resistance. Things really open up to the 49.27 level after that. So getting a little, looks like it's just taking a little bit breather here after having a nice rally from 45 back up to 51.
Well, overall market thoughts here, Joel. Obviously, we had a real good day yesterday. The market's starting to take off here, and it's up a little bit here again this morning, trading 1431.75. We're up another 5 points. Obviously, financials are your source of strength, along with Apple. So, where do we go from here? Are we going to move up here, or are we going to?
This is a pretty interesting level here. This 1425 to 1430 level. Which we have cleared yesterday and in a pre-market. Last few times we got up here, we got a little of fear of heights and sold off a few different times. Most recently, we got up to 1432.50. That was a high on the 12. We've exceeded that in the pre-market by only a few points, but are trading below it. So this would be a critical day for the market. If we can bust through this 1432.5 area, settle above that. My next target would be the 1447.25 high, which was the high on October 19th, but really need to hold in here today.
Yeah, I think so too. I think I don't want to see us start giving it back. And 1427.50 is the overnight low. The close 1427, so there's a key swing number for you as well. Obviously, we want to stay green. That's our show for today, folks. Have a great trading day. Don't forget about that hearing at the Senate on computerized trading. That's going to be going on at 9:30, and we'll talk to you guys tomorrow.